I'd always known a life of comfort, cradled by the love and stability my parents gave me. I'm Abigail Turner, and our sprawling estate, with its manicured gardens and towering window swathes, a symbol of my father, Henry Turner's success. HD built a real estate empire from nothing, but his wealth never hardened him. He was generous, especially with his younger brother, Paul, loaning him money to start a business, then bailing him out when it collapsed. Paul and his wife Diana never went without, yet their visits carried a chill I couldn't name. At 17, Paul's nods were stiff, his gratitude absent, as if he deserved every handout. Diana's ice cold calculating unstalled me, darting around our home like she was measuring it. My mother Ellen was the heart of our family, her grace turning our house into a sanctuary. Family sticks together, she'd say, her voice steady, and I clung to that. She pushed Dad to keep helping Paul. Despite their coolness, why don't they ever thank him? I asked one night over dinner, the chandelier glowing above us. Dad smiled faintly. Some think they owed what's given. Abby, we help because it's right. Mom squeezed my hand. It's who we are. I nodded, but their entitlement knotted me still. My world felt sacramental. It shattered that night. Rain lashed the windows, a grim chorus to the chaos that stole my life. My parents had gone to a charity gala, leaving me curled up with a book. I waved them off, expecting their usual late return. But past midnight, the phone shrilled, slicing through the quiet. Our housekeeper, Miss Clara, answered, her gasp echoing, "No, no," she whispered, tears spilling as she turned to me, her face ashen. "What's wrong?" I demanded, dread clawing my chest. She couldn't speak, but a hospital call confirmed it. Henry and Ellen Turner were gone, killed in a car crash. The words crushed me, my knees buckling as the room spun. They can't be, I sobbed, clutching the table, willing it untrue. At the hospital, the doctors gentle. We tried everything, barely pierced my haze. My parents' mom's laughter, Dad's strength gone, the mansion's walls closed in. A hollow shell without them. Then came the scavengers, Dad's associates feigning sympathy. Your father owed debts, one said, his hand heavy on my shoulder. We need his assets, I blinked through tears. He never mentioned debts, papers, flashed contracts. I couldn't decadine soon our home. His company, everything vanished. I was left with nothing but loss. With nowhere else to turn, I stood outside Paul's modest house, suitcase in hand, my fingers white around the grip. The estate was gone, accounts frozen, friends vanished. Dad had trusted Paul, surely aged hell. Diana opened the door, her lips thinning. Abigail, why are you here? Her tone stunned. I've got nowhere else, I murmured, swallowing shame. She sighed, stepping aside. Paul, your niece. He appeared, his face blank. Come in, he said, stiff. I exhaled, relieved, but it faded fast. Days in. Their resentment thickened the air. Paul ignored me. Diana snapped orders. You can't just sit here, she sneered one night as I read in the corner. We're not a hotel, her words bit, but I nodded. I'll help with chores. It wasn't enough. I became their maid, cooking, cleaning, scrubbing it. Diana's critiques never stopped. Ungrateful girl, she muttered, eyeing my every move. I held my tongue. This was my only shelter, but I knew it wouldn't last. The shift was brutal. One day I was a grieving niece, the next a servant under their roof. Diana's barbs sharper than Ellen teach you anything useful. And Paul stayed silent, complicit. My father's sacrifices for them meant nothing. They'd turned on me when I needed them most. Exhaustion carved me hollow, my frame thinning, as I worked one evening setting their table. Diana tossed a rag at me, cleaned the kitchen first. I obeyed, hunger, only to hear we had nothing left. Try tomorrow, I stared stunned, but murmured okay. Hiding my tears, their cruelty wasn't subtle. Anna Marriott was deliberate, and I was breaking. It peaked one night. I sat on the kitchen floor, too tired to stand after hours of scrubbing. Diana stormed in, her voice a blade. Get up, no freeloaders here. I arose, swaying, but before I could speak, she gripped my arm. Nails digging, you're done here. Out, panic surged. Please. I've got nowhere, Paul cut in. Calm as ice. She's right, Abigail. You are not our burden, I gasped, searching for mercy, finding none. Dad trusted you, I choked. He's gone, Paul said, flat and SO's his money. Diana shoved a bag at me, scraps of clothes and leave or ill call security. I took it chin high and stepped into the night, the door slamming like a gunshot. Betrayal seared me, but I wouldn't let them see me crumble. The city loomed, lights mocking my despair as I wandered, bagged, dragging. Fear gripped my streets, stretched, endless shadows lurking, my legs gave out by a bench. Hunger clawing, I'm alone. I whispered, the truth bitter. Spotting an abandoned truck, I climbed in its musty seat, my refuge. Curling up, I creaked, then wrenching until exhaustion took me. I'll survive, I vowed, a fragile promise in the dark. I didn't know how, but I would. Dawn broke, harsh light waking me. My body ached, stomach growled, but that bakery job flickered hope. I trudged their apron waiting. Start sweeping, Mrs. Helen said. I worked floors. Disapproving myself, she handed me bread at noon. You've earned it, tears welled as I bid in a lifeline. A man, Ethan, walked in, his warm eyes meeting mine, new here. I nodded, what matters is where you're going. He said, his words sparked some lost everything but it built again.